He's special.
Yeah. Well, I want you guys, because I love, playing Commander. Commander's just, it's so much fun.
I like the creativity that you guys can have with it.
It definitely was a struggle getting back into it, because when I played before, I played Standard, so you had a limit of 4 per card. So I'm like, yeah, I'll build werewolves, it's fine. What are we playing? 1 card a piece? It'll be fun. No. Absolutely not.
Well, Commander is also a format where there's very few times where your opponent's not doing it. Because Standard is technically a faster game, as in you go through your hand faster.
Mm.
So werewolves are definitely an archetype that where in Standard you're more likely to get them to transform.
Yeah.
You are in Commander. Then you can do the Commander, but you have to build a specific deck to do that. Like I said, a deck where you're flashing them in, and you just go pass. You go okay. Oh, my transform, and then I'll cast this stuff on your turn. Okay, and so that'd be the way you'd have to do it to make it good. But you like wolves better, anyways.
Yeah, the overall goal is to get 140 wolf tokens out, because that was I've been hoarding wolf tokens.
So, but we do have plans to improve that. There's a card, Parallel Lives, is not really more of a budget card. I mean, if we keep the TCG market value, which is $60, keeps it under $100, you can actually get Parallel Lives like $17, $18. You can actually get a Grim Tutor, Parallel Lives, Mastermind's Acquisition, and Diabolic Tutor, and still keep this under $100 if we're going by TCG market.
We'll just go by that when it comes to.
Which is that's insane, because Parallel Lives doubles your tokens. Anytime you make a token, you make double that. So Garuk makes 4 tokens.
And I mean, if you still feel like $60 is a lot, like the only card in the deck that is
I'm gonna tell you,
highest expense is
the
my
Commander.
Even
$60 is actually extremely budgeted, especially for Commander. And so the thing is, like I said, so the things we could possibly improve upon this are the lands, make the lands a little better, adding tutors, maybe a few more ramp spells.
Tutors makes everything better.
Maybe a few more ramps. Possibly a few more ramping artifacts, but they're not you don't necessarily need that. They also kind of falls in the category of ramp spells in general. So artifacts and ramp. Other than that, I feel we have a good, strong start, and it's still an effective deck. It still can be a very terrifying deck. And that's the thing, you don't have to have a stupidly expensive deck. You can to beat people in Commander, or have fun, more importantly. But you can play Commander and just beat people with a relatively cheap deck.
Yeah.
Even some of the precons are still really solid decks. They only need a few enhancements.
I mean, when I got back with the group and I built this, everybody was like, "Oh, that's cute," and we're dealing with everybody else. And I'm sitting there just playing my cards. Then I smacked somebody for 24, and they were like,
"Hang on,
he is a threat."
Wow, he can do things. Oh, he did a lot. That's a problem.
All of a sudden, everything.
Which now you have your ultimatum to help get you out of those situations. But in fact, if you can pin the ultimate guard box right there, that's actually my cheapest deck right now. It was the human Commander Precon from Korea, the Mardu one, and the only reason it's higher up is because I put more expensive cards in it. Cards I previously had already owned from other things. Cards I'd owned because either they've been given to me, or I just had them from years ago back when they were cheap. So this deck, I've only probably spent maybe like $60 total. I spent 40 of it for the Commander deck, and then 20 on the cards I bought a long time ago, or obtained a long time ago. Now the value, I think it's around $100, $110. This is my cheapest Commander deck.
That's about average for a budget.
But if you keep it to 100 and under, that's a good budget rule to go by. If you can build certain Commander decks way under 40 that are still good and playable, generally 100 is the best number to go by, at least around 100 or lower, because that's a good way to really keep it interesting. And Magic has so many cards in it. It's like, oh, this is the broken, expensive card. Can I find an effect that does something similar to it? Yes. Oh, wow, it's not near as good, but like its floor is a lot lower, but the ceiling is almost as high. You can play like there's so many cards in Magic that do that. Like I was just saying with the whole Ixalan, the series of flip cards that when they flip become some of the most broken cards in Magic when they flip, but by themselves, like they're not, but because they need more time to build up to it, they're not as threatening. Treasure Cruise. If you're playing, I know you hate blue, but when you're playing blue, you can't. Everyone can afford insanely expensive draw spells. There's not too many of them, thankfully, but Treasure Cruise is effectively, at its worst, a very bad draw spell, but at its best, it's Ancestral Recall, which is a power 9.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, I banished 3 cards on my grave, which I don't play anything on a grave, and I draw 3 cards worth 1 mana.
It's good. A good trade.
Yeah, like it's so they're always even though you may not realize it because you only know what your card pool is. There are always cheaper options, almost always. Like for Magic, there's always budget versions of cards. So check out Card Kingdom because the whole you can find everything kind of in one spot and you're not worried about multiple different shipping things. If you do have a shop you buy for TCG Player, do that. Go to TCG Player, check them out. Or more importantly, if you have access to one, buy it from your local game store. Right?
Support local businesses.
Supporting your local game store is very important because without them, you don't have you won't be able to probably find a group. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't know you guys if it weren't for our local game store. I wouldn't know half of my current friends if it weren't for my local game store. And even before then, a lot of my current friends now I wouldn't know if it weren't for our previous local game store. And I wouldn't know any of them if it weren't for that. Like there are so many friends I know because of gaming, whether it had been before it's through Yu-Gi-Oh, now it's through Magic. Like there's so many friends I would have never met or even known. Some people I consider some of my best and most closest friends if it weren't for gaming. I mean,
see, I didn't know. Thanks to our game store that we go to a lot, I didn't even know there was game stores in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And me and him happened to stumble across ours, and we just let's go one day.
It's such a great store.
It
but
really is.
yeah. Oh, we should get them to sponsor us.
Hey,
no,
Chris.
But no, that was support your local game stores. It's very important that you do so because that's actually how you get like certain promos get made, like a new Reliquary Tower, the foil artwork, gorgeous. But that's a game store exclusive promo.
Yeah.
Like support your local game stores. They need it, especially during a time right now with COVID happening right now. Some people can't directly go to their game stores. If you can, try to see if your game store will allow you to order stuff through them and or buy product from them through them, and you see if they deliver it or if you can pick it up at curbside pickup. Yeah,
see, our game store did that for a while.
Yeah, while we were when everything had to be locked down, which we may have to do that soon again. Which it's for
a good cause.
It's for saving people. So keeping people.
We have to save the people.
I'd rather save the wolves.
Well, there's no wolves. Well, the wolves you can't save them through COVID, but
technically.
So
release the hounds.
No, that's a new card. That was from Jumpstart.
Oh.
Oh god. But no, support your local game stores. Like I said, if you're in any way you can, because that's how you know your community. That's how you find out about your friends. People you will become your friends. Yeah. Support them. They really need it because most of them don't have big bucks money that they have stashed behind to keep themselves afloat. All right. So that's today's that's today's video, and I think we did a good job, everybody.
Yeah, I like it.
So we're gonna sign off here. I'm Jimmy.
I'm Joe.
I'm Luke.
And we were What's on the Table.